Hi everybody and welcome to Josiah is Right. So I'm joined by Penny just for a minute because this isn't a me and Penny video, this is a me and my friend Travis video, and we are going to talk about Batman. So he and I recorded a video about Casino Royale for my film podcast. However, we talked about Batman for about 5 minutes, the 1989 Batman, and I just didn't think it fit in with that video, so I pulled it out for a separate video. So here's an introduction to that Batman.
Okay, just completely jumping off movies here for a second. Like Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I haven't seen it, so.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Go watch it.
Okay, I want to.
I'm not going to spoil it.
I always blame. Before kids, I saw everything, but I have little kids now, and that makes my watching. It needs to be much more intentional. So, unfortunately, that's on the list of haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real language. Violence is cartoony.
One of the first movies, not first movies, an early movie I remember seeing was Ghostbusters 2 in the movie theater. So I was going to see Ghostbusters. That would have been that came out in 88 or 89. So I was like 7 years old at the time. So, Well, that came out in 89 as well. Okay. I'm just talking of that was a big year then with that and Batman.
Loved Batman. Saw it 10 times in theater.
Oh, wow. I was just on an episode of a YouTube show called The Most Extreme Ranking Challenge, and we picked our top 80s movies, and that was one of the top 80s movies for me, just because it was the absolute, probably maybe the first or second most iconic movie of that decade. Everybody was wearing those Batman shirts. It just stood out so much. It was just like a phenomenon, like at least for me, being 7 at that time, I had never seen anything like that because I wasn't really around for Star Wars. I loved Star Wars growing up, obviously, and that began the decade with Empire Strikes Back and, Return of the Jedi, but I didn't get to see those things. According to family legend, I was at Return of the Jedi in the theater, but I was 1, and it was basically just that kind of thing where the family was going and they couldn't leave the baby at home because they wanted to see the last Star Wars movie or what they thought was going to be the last Star Wars movie. And so I wasn't there to experience that, but in 1989, it was unlike anything I experienced before that. And then maybe a few times since, maybe when episode 1 was coming out, the hype for building that up, and maybe Avengers or something, or a Harry Potter movie, sort of the cultural anticipation, but nothing, I don't think, rivals what it was like for Batman at that time. So.
Oh no, Batman, and I was prepared to hate Batman. I actually walked into the theater with a chip on my shoulder.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I thought Michael Keaton, I'd seen him in Gung Ho, and I'd seen him in other things. And he was a funny dude.
Yeah.
Likeable, funny, no problem with him. But I was like, The Dark Knight, Michael Keaton, kiss my butt.
Yeah.
No way.
It's funny.
I watched it and I was like, holy hell. He really is the Dark Knight. And Nicholson just absolutely blew out his scenes.
Yeah. It's funny because I learned that in retrospect that, because I'd seen Mr. Mom, I'd seen things like that. Probably saw Beetlejuice and Gung Ho, like you said. So I knew Michael Keaton, but I didn't have the mental capacity to judge an actor that was right for the role. I like, that guy's going to play Batman, so he must be right for Batman. I was 7, right? But I understand, like, when Heath Ledger, for example, was cast as Joker, it was that same attitude. All the talk was, this guy shouldn't be Joker. He can't possibly be Joker. He's only in these teen comedies and things like that. Yeah, and here he was just absolutely iconic. I mean, still the only comic book movie actor to win an Academy Award, unfortunately, after he passed, but that's quite significant. But it was the same kind of conversation. Even with when Affleck was cast, he's like, oh, he shouldn't be Batman. And he was the best thing about all the Zack Snyder movies was Affleck. Anyway, a James Bond episode talking about Batman, which is awesome. That's what I love, having these kind of conversations. But let's jump back into Bond. Thank you guys so much for watching that video about Batman. I have plenty of more Batman content coming. You can also see me on Most Extreme Ranking Challenge, where maybe Batman, that movie, makes an appearance. So be sure to check that out. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Who is your favorite Batman? Who's your favorite Batman?
The girl.
The girl. Batgirl, of course. Bye.